All right. Are we live? I think that we are. Ciao, everyone. This is Nate on the Stone, and welcome to the very first live broadcast of Nate on the Stone. If I am a little rusty, if I am a little nervous, if you hear a lot of uhs, buts, and everything like that, please be patient. This is my very first time live streaming, so you get to be the guinea pigs. Lucky you. So, as you probably saw from the title of this live stream, I just wanted to give my initial thoughts and reactions to what was a pretty big bombshell that was laid out on us yesterday, late morning, early afternoon. And it kind of got buried maybe under all the news about Michael Cohen because that was going on at the same time. And of course, as you know, it's about Project Veritas and their big scoop that, yes, despite the contrary, despite people's protests to the contrary, Facebook does actually is biased against conservatives. See, there's that awkward pause. I apologize for you guys being the guinea pigs. Let's do better. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Project Veritas is an organization headed by James O'Keefe, and I like to think of them as guerrilla journalists. They actually go into companies and in situations, and they, as their name suggests, try to bring out the truth of something despite media spin or outright lies. And so yesterday, they released a news story about how someone who used to work for Facebook came to them. That now the person who used to work at Facebook now works at Project Veritas and revealed that yes, Facebook actively is biased against conservatives, people on the right, and that they had actually been targeting our very own Lauren Chen, aka Roaming Millennial, or is it Roaming Millennial, aka Lauren Chen? In any case, that was the big news story. And this is, pretty big stuff. We've always known, or at the very, very least, we've already had suspicions that this was going on, not just with Facebook, but with Twitter, with Google, and a whole bunch of social media platforms. And this is basically just confirming our suspicions that this is happening. I've been reading their report and I've been going through some of the documents that they uploaded from their research, and it's basically mind-blowing, guys. It really, really is. And two things struck out at me. Again, just, heard about the story, saw Lauren's live stream of this yesterday afternoon. So if you already watched that, I'm kind of coming late to the party. You've already gotten most of the gist, probably. But what really struck out at me was, first of all, how Facebook was very, very open about what they wanted to do. They're not just going after hate speech anymore. They're going after, quote unquote, let me see if I can find it, content near the perimeter of hate speech. that they have to address as well. And that actually comes from a gentleman named Seiji Yamamoto, who is the one who gave the presentation about what Facebook needs to do about trolls. That is very interesting to my mind, because hate speech has always been a very vague concept. As far as I'm aware, no one has actually been able to crack open a dictionary and say, here is the definition of hate speech. This is what hate speech entails. Don't do this and you'll be okay. The term hate speech has always been vague, and I believe that it's always been vague deliberately so. But now the goalposts are being changed. Now what they're saying is that speech on the perimeter of hate speech has to be policed. And this, of course, raises the obvious question, well, how far back from the perimeter are you going to be going, right? Because let's see. According to Project Veritas's informant, quote, the perimeter of hate speech means things that aren't actually hate speech, but that might offend somebody. Anything that is perceived as hateful, but no court would define it as hate speech. So in other words, whatever Facebook doesn't like, whatever goes against their own biases, that now is problematic. So that was something that was really, that struck out at me like a sore thumb. It was like, wait a minute, a vague term is already not vague enough. And now we have to move beyond that. And the second thing that really struck out at me was what I'm just going to call character association. When I watched Lauren's live stream of this yesterday, she's going through Yamamoto's presentation, she's going through Project Veritas's report, and the interesting thing that Facebook did in that PowerPoint presentation given by Seiji Yamamoto was that he lays out all of these examples from a Facebook page called the Kyrgyzstan Raiders, right? And from the examples that he gave, it's very much an alt-right page, and they do some, pretty kind of questionable things. If not breaking Facebook policy, then at the very, very least in good taste. Some of the examples that were shown on the presentation, I was like, ooh, yeah, that's not good, not good, guys. But then what they did was that they linked Lauren, Romy Millennial, to them by saying that, oh, here is an example of what people like this do. And of course, if you click the link, like Lauren did in her live stream, it comes to one of her videos. And I think a lot of people have been asking, why would anybody do this? Why would they do this? Because if you've been watching Roaming's videos, and I've been watching her videos for almost 2 years now. I found her channel late spring, early summer of 2017. You know that she is one of the most level-headed, reasonable, even-keeled people, probably, on YouTube, on any sort of social media platform. So why would Facebook deliberately do this? Why would they connect her with an alt-right group? Well, I think that the answer is very simple, and it is character association. If you can take a bunch of people who are, I'm just going to say it, legitimately crazy or bad, like the Kekistani raiders seem to be. They were accused of raiding people's pages and videos and of doxing, and of course, that is wrong. Absolutely. So if you take these people that everyone can agree is bad, but then you connect them with someone over here who has no connection to them whatsoever, doesn't think like them, doesn't support them or anything like that, that creates the bridge in people's minds. And it allows Facebook to basically make a self-fulfilling prophecy. They say, look, people start out, watching and liking roaming millennials videos. Well, then pretty soon they're going to be graduating to the Kekistani raiders over here. One inevitably leads to the other. And as soon as that connection is made in people's minds, whether they come at the problem or come at that connection tabula rasa, or whether they're already kind of biased against conservatives and right-leaning people on the right, then, that association becomes stronger. Facebook basically plants the idea in people's heads, and then people either unassumingly accept that idea, or they use that to justify their own biases and their own preconceived ideas. I think that is what is going on. That is what is going on. And gosh, there's just a whole bunch of stuff like this. Here it is in their in the glossary that Seiji Yamamoto included at the end of the presentation. He defines Kekistan, the people in that Facebook group, as unified around a firm belief in free speech and by a shared disdain or hatred of SJWs, of social justice warriors. So, it doesn't matter who you are. If you believe in the First Amendment, if you believe in free speech, if you don't agree with social justice warriors, and in fact, that is what Lauren's video was about. The video that Yamamoto linked in his presentation, it was actually about social justice warriors. It was actually about SJWs. And so here is that connection. There you go. If you believe in free speech, if you don't like social justice warriors, not even if you don't like them, if you think that they're wrong, if you're trying to engage with them, and in their ideas, and pretty much say, I don't agree with these ideas. I think that these ideas lead to these things over here, and these things are ultimately going to hurt individual people. It's going to hurt societies. Then that is enough to basically, in a sense, tie the rope around your neck, because you're already a part of these Kekistani raiders and everyone on the alt-right. But anyway, just wanted to say that, and I will see you later, guys.